Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signorn. A sad day as the world mourns the loss of actor Robbie Coltrane. So many wonderful performances. I'm sure you remember him. My UK viewers, I'm sure you remember him as Dr. Fitzgerald, aka Fitz, on Cracker, the BAFTA-winning series. He was also in the James Bond series, Goldeneye, etc. He was in the game. I remember playing as him as Valentine. But of course, it was the role of Hagrid that really set Robbie Coltrane apart from all other actors. He brought that character to life like no one else could. In fact, it was J.K. Rowling herself who knew from day one that he was the first choice of an actor to play that role. As someone who read those books, who else can play that larger-than-life character? Robbie Coltrane did it beautifully. And many of his co-stars from the Harry Potter films have now been reacting on social media at the loss. Truly sad day. And actor Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry in the films, shared his memories of Robbie in a statement he provided today, saying, "Robbie was one of the funniest people I've met and used to keep us laughing constantly as kids on the set. I have especially fond memories of him keeping our spirits up on Prisoner of Azkaban, when we were all hiding from the torrential rain for hours in Hagrid's hut, and he was telling stories and cracking jokes to keep morale up. I feel incredibly lucky that I got to meet and work with him, and very sad that he's passed. He was an incredible actor and a lovely man." Wasn't just him putting out tributes. Author J.K. Rowling herself said, "I'll never know anyone remotely like Robbie again. He was an incredible talent, a complete one-off, and I was beyond fortunate to know him, work with him, and laugh my head off with him. I send my love and deepest condolences to his family, above all, his children." And this is a nice touching photo to see them together. And then we have Weasley brothers, Oliver, saying, "November 2001, Leicester Square in London. Soak this in, lads. It's like a Rolls Royce for your first car." Robbie Coltrane, when he was next to me on the red carpet of the first Harry Potter premiere. Over the years, we had some great chats about history and travel. Rest in peace, Robbie. And there's James. I think he was Fred, right? Fred Weasley. "I will miss the random chats about all subjects under the sun, and I'll never forget in September 2000, Robbie Coltrane came over to a very nervous 14-year-old me on my first ever day on a movie set and said, 'Enjoy it. You'll be great. Thank you for that.'" Takes a big actor. He's a famous actor, and he put all those children at ease. I've heard so many stories from that set and how much they loved and adored him for making them feel so comfortable and, not like they were acting with these world famous actors, which these kids were in those movies. Neville, here he is, Matthew Lewis. "Robbie Bobster, he called me Space Boy. We shared a love of the final frontier. He didn't give an F, and it always made you smile. A giant in more ways than one. We had some times." Really touching words from there. And then we have Stephen Fry, who read the books in the UK. He was the audiobook reader. And he also, I think, did some video game work for the Harry Potter franchise and obviously worked with Robbie a bunch. "I first met Robbie Coltrane almost exactly 40 years ago. I was in awe, terror, love struck all at the same time. Such depth, power, and talent. Funny enough to cause helpless hiccups and honking as we made our first TV show, Al Fresco. Farewell, old fellow. You'll be so dreadfully missed." And then actor Hugh Laurie of House also starred in that with Robbie. "I hope it's okay to spout memories. I used to ride with Robbie Coltrane between Manchester and London in his sort of restored MGA. I'd roll him cigarettes while he discoursed on the way of the world, and I don't think I've ever laughed or learned so much in my life." Really touching tributes piling in. And here's the Wizarding World themselves of Harry Potter. "We are hugely saddened to hear of the passing of the magnificent Robbie Coltrane, who played Hagrid with such kindness, heart, and humor in the Harry Potter films. He was a wonderful actor, a friend to all, and he will be deeply missed." And here's James Bond, the current owners of it all right now. This is actually coming in from Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, saying, "Robbie Coltrane's passing is a tragic loss to the world. He was an exceptional actor whose talent knew no bounds. He was beloved to Bond audiences as Valentine in Goldeneye and The World Is Not Enough, as well as to millions who saw him in his multitude of roles. We shall miss him as a dear friend. Rest in peace, Robbie." This is an actor who's leaving lasting impressions with all the people he's worked with. Seen a negative word out there about him. And here was a clip I put out there. A lot of people were sharing this clip. If you guys haven't yet watched the HBO Max documentary reunion, if you will, of the Harry Potter cast, it is fantastic. I get really sad when one person's alleged actions or opinions can attempt to trash and just remove a whole story, movies from our history. And you just can't do it with Harry Potter. It means too much to too many people. It's a wonderful story. J.K. Rowling should be celebrated for that, even if you don't like what she said. But I just get so frustrated seeing so many, even every news article, controversial author J.K. Rowling. In this moment of tribute, leave her alone. My goodness. Harry Potter must live on. And I implore you, if you were ever a fan, watch that reunion. It'll get you emotional. And there's a moment in there that a lot of people are sharing where Robbie gets emotional, looking back on the legacy of Harry Potter and Hagrid himself.
I just think it's an end of an era. It's 10 years of my life, and my children have grown up during it, of course.
That is Robbie Coltrane, finest gamekeeper in Hogwarts, last day on Harry Potter.
He does. He gets emotional here, and J.K. Rowling herself always said he was the only one for the role.
The legacy of the movies is that my children's generation will show them to their children. So you could be watching it in 50 years' time. Easy. I'll not be here, sadly, but don't you think on it for 1 minute. But Hagrid will. Yes. I just think it's an end.
He sure will. And I just get emotional looking back at how iconic these movies was for me, my kids. It's a wonderful role he built, that J.K. wrote, that he brought to life like no other actor could. And it's a really good look back on things when the cast comes back in and goes through and re-meets everybody and talks about what it meant to them all. And to see Robbie express how much this role meant to him, he's right. This character will always live on. The other two castmates, we haven't yet heard from Rupert Grint. He's not very active on social media, so I'm not surprised he's taking his time. I do really like him, but stay tuned. I'm sure he'll be saying something. And then Emma Watson, likewise, different social media sort of activity. And last time I checked, oh, here we go. Just happened. Breaking news as I'm recording. It did happen. All right. Rest in peace, Robbie Coltrane. Robbie was like the most fun uncle I've ever had, but most of all, he was deeply caring and compassionate towards me as a child and as an adult. His talent was so immense, it made sense he played a giant. He could fill any space with his brilliance. Robbie, if I ever get to be so kind as you were to me on a film set, I promise I'll do it in your name and memory. Know how much I adore and admire you. I'll really miss your sweetness, your nicknames, your warmth, your laughs, and your hugs. You made us a family. Know you were that to us. There was no better Hagrid. You made it a joy to be Hermione. It's so sad. It makes me sad. And it makes me sad that these movies are now tarnished because of whatever your feelings are to J.K. Rowling. To see all of them unite for Hagrid, for him as a person, it means a lot. It's really special. And I know a lot of you guys really took it to the gut today because of how much this franchise means. We got to protect this franchise no matter what. And we got to remember.
There's no Hogwarts without you, Hagrid.
No Hogwarts without you, Hagrid. Thank you so much, Robbie, for all the roles. Thank you for making Hagrid come alive. I send so much love to his family and to you, sir. Thank you for all that you've done. That's all I got.